What's up, guys? Urban Red Pill here. I want to speak about the title, Women Are Children. And I was thinking about this for the past couple of days. And the reason why I draw that conclusion, I'll give you an example of something that I had to brainstorm back into my life to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. I remember clear as day, let's take it back to, let's say, like elementary school. And one of the main things when you're in elementary school, besides ABCs and all those things like that, what they would ask you is they would ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And my main thing was, I said I was gonna be Spider-Man, and to this day, that's one of my favorite Marvel characters. But in elementary school, I said something to that. Like I was going to be Spider Man when I grow up, and the other boys, of course, they had their out of this world things that they wanted to be when they grow up. One boy said he was going to be an alien. Just a lot of these, you know, optimistic ideas. We just thought we could be all those things, and then when we got to middle school, those questions were asked again, and I went from Spider Man to saying, I changed, I guess, with growth, maturity from just the elementary to the middle school. It changed, and at that time, I wanted to be a pro wrestler, right? I was into WWF, watching that, and till I realized it was fake. Fuck you, WWF, but that's a topic for another time. And even at that time in middle school, you had guys, all of a sudden, you had someone to go in the military, someone to be firefighters, just things that, in other words, the aspirations start to kind of shape more in tone or in tune with reality. Even if some want to be rappers, some want to be entertainers and actors, which were all possibilities. And then as you get to high school, I went from a wrestler to engineer, freshman year on engineer, then maybe sometime you think you want to be an athlete, just certain things that, that are very attainable if that's what you want to do. And what I say to make this point is what I've noticed in elementary school when they would ask the girls, what is it that they wanted to do, or what did they aspire to be, and it was always some like Barbie fallacy. They wanted to have kids, or they want to be a hot blonde in a bikini, just this doll type, being, and that's fine because I wanted to be Spider-Man in elementary school, so you would expect them to have those childish behaviors. And then you go to middle school, they ask the girls the same question, just like they asked the boys, and their aspirations didn't change. It went from, they still were talking about kids, they were still talking about marriage, how they wanted to find a knight in shining armor, Ken type guy to marry. Then you go to high school, and a lot of it is the same thing. Now, one thing I noticed what they would do in high school is because socially in high school, you had to talk more about what you're going to do professionally once you leave. They could not say that in a classroom full of guys, girls, and a teacher to say, I just want to be a wife or have kids. So what they would do is they would, say any type of profession just to take the heat off of them. But once they talk amongst each other, all they talked about was having babies. And if you think about it, you have grown women that have the same aspirations of an elementary school child. You can ask grown women and they will have the same answer as a middle school kid. And it makes you wonder, like, you know, how is it with growth, maturity, and things around you changing in life that you still have the same aspirations as someone that's in elementary, middle school, or high school as an adult woman? That's why I'm to the point, I think this college educated thing with women is nothing but smoke and mirrors. What I think that they do is in order to fulfill this childish dream or this childish way of thinking that they have, all the things that they aspire to be require a man. If they want a child, if they want to be a stay-at-home mom, if they don't want to eventually check out the workforce, they could do neither one of these three things without a man. Now, the professional woman is no different. Because, think of it like this. Women understand the importance of proximity. If you eventually want to be married to a beta male doctor that's going to make a nice amount of salary where you can sit at home and you can take care of kids, and he pays for this dream that you had since you were in elementary school, how are you going to get in close proximity to this doctor? You have to become a nurse. You can't work at Burger King and think that you're going to meet and marry a doctor. If you want to meet and marry a lawyer or any of these high professions, you have to at least become something where you're in the proximity of attorneys, paralegals, court secretaries, something where when lawyers go to work, you're there. And this is what I believe the point of women doing this career thing, because it is no way that they can convince me that their aspirations have changed, because I hear them talk and there's no way, it's all the same thing. But the way they go at it is different. You will have the Bonquishas of the world. What they would do is just default to government, but the aspiration is still the same. You have other women that are a little more ambitious on what male that they want. Like, the government is just not enough for them. They need a different type of lifestyle that they see on TV. So what they have to do is, in order to get in close proximity of these high status or high value males that they want to eventually anchor down and take care of them and kids, they have to go get a degree so they could be in the vicinity of these guys that they desire or have a chance at of hooking down. And it's just amazing that the level, it's like men are the ones that are, elevating these women into thinking that they're more than what they aspire to be. Most women, that's like imagine that their whole life, from the beginning, that's all they want to be. They just want to be spit out some kids and have someone take care of them. But yet, we've created a society where, their heads are blown up, even though on the inside they know all they really give a fuck about is how to get to this goal that is that of an elementary child's mind. And at some point, us as men, as a collective, have to kind of wake up to this trick that is being pulled. You hear guys, professional guys, and they love to brag about how the woman they talk to has such and such job and makes such and such amount of money. And I don't know, I see straight through that. I know she's making it seem like she's there to help out and be a partnership in their lives together. But the moment he marries her and she needs to take time off of work once she has kids, most of the time they never return. A woman is not inspired to retire behind a cubicle. That's just not what I see when I see them. You ever notice the over the hill, over the wall women who are not able to snag their plow horse, you notice how miserable and bitter they are because they have this look about them where they feel like they've missed a train. It's because they understood when they first started this journey, this is what it was all about. They wanted to become nurses so they could get a doctor. They wanted to go in the medical field so they could be around surgeons. They wanted to go in the legal field so they could be around attorneys, judges, these professions. They go into law enforcement so they can eventually marry a detective or the chief of police. This is their thinking. Women do not all of a sudden decide that they want to provide for themselves and stop looking for providers. If you think about it, that goes against their nature. So what leads me to believe that because at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. Even that nurse, even that lawyer, that female lawyer, at the end of the day, deep down inside, or deep down, her main motive is the same motive of that of an elementary, middle school, high school child's mind. That's what she is. You ever notice even in criminal court, or if a female is caught doing something illegal, she knows she did it. They have on camera. You even have female murderers that I've seen. And have you ever noticed the first thing they do is they default to the water sprinklers? They start crying like children. I've seen women in car accidents that were their fault. Hey, listen, just get out, call the cops. We're going to do a police report, exchange insurance information, and then we go on about our day. But they get out and they start to crying and giving out traits of that of a juvenile child. And we're supposed to take this seriously. Think about it. Even the requirements that they have for beta males, because I'm not doing none of that shit, but even the requirements they have for beta males as far as dating and how you're supposed to make her feel or the things that you should do to make her happy, notice it's all juvenile, childish things. Buy me a teddy bear, a fucking teddy bear, and the chick is 33. Like, really think about it. At the end of the day, children need adults, women need men, and men just need the world to spin. Because at the end of the day, it just looks like the way this thing works is we're the ones that are responsible for everything that goes on out here. But yet, we have to fool society and these women into thinking that they're more adults or more, responsible than we really think they are. Look what's required from them as a society. Look what's required of them. The same things we require of them, we require from a 16-year-old. 16-year-olds can drive. 16-year-olds, you could train them to pay bills on time. But how far can you teach a 16-year-old to be responsible and to know how to save? And if you notice, that's what women are very bad at. Think about it. Their responsibility plateaus of that of a 16-year-old. And yet we turn around as a society and we're giving them the keys to the car and they don't even have a driver's license. This is what we're doing. We're giving them an invisible loaded gun to use at their discretion for what they feel is needed. We've given them that much power. We've given them that much dominion over not only men, not only the education system, the judicial system, everything. With a mind of a teenager or younger, 16 or younger. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I've rarely met a woman that really has an intellect of someone that's over 16 years old. It's very rare. They are out there. I understand that for the all police, the not all police, but it's very, very rare that I've met one with an intellect that surpasses a 16-year-old. I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest, see if anyone else sees what I'm seeing. But um, I'm a people watcher. I watch certain actions and certain ways that people act, and on the woman's side, women are just freaking children, man. Look how they drive. They drive like a teenage child, and put a cell phone in their hand with them driving is a fucking disaster. If you look at most rear end at collisions, uh, this is with car seats in the back and kids and everything. And you ask yourself, like, you're supposed to be the adult, but in the end of the day, they're just as much of a child as the one that they're chauffeuring around in the back seat. I just wanted to get that off my chest. You know, guys, just stay safe and realize these women are children. They're children. Their aspirations have not changed since elementary school. Take care.